everyone and welcome to my new video. I'm so happy today, I don't know why. It's just, I guess, because I've come to a realization that I can now fit most of my old clothes. But before I tell you all about it, let me tell you who you're listening and watching in case you just clicked now and you have no idea how you ended up on this page. I would love to welcome you to a channel that I dedicated as a safe space for everyone that wishes to explore about art and fashion and reflection, really turning it into somewhat of a lifestyle. I think I'm so excited today because it's been almost half a year since I became a mom, and I've managed to drop down the weight to the weight I had before pregnancy. So I finally get to feel like myself again, which is such a beautiful thing. Obviously, I cherish and love this body way more than the body before it carried a life. But I'm also really proud on the discipline and the effort I've put in to lose all those kilos. This was the first time in my life. If I can find, I will insert a photo of how I looked like before pregnancy, and then I gained like 25 kilos, no joke. But I kind of enjoyed it. Like in my second pregnancy, I probably won't do that, but it was so fun to just like eat and not care. And I birthed the healthiest, happiest baby in the world, so that's all that matters. Come and join me as we go to discover first district of Vienna. I'll bring you through the streets that I usually go to or used to go to when I worked. I'll tell you a bit about Hofburg Palace. As an architect and somebody that passed their exam, I feel like I'm qualified enough to talk about this. And ever since I've thought about these things, I started noticing these architectural elements and history all around where I go. I don't know if this happens to you, but once you note something and then you go out and you're like, wow. For example, that happened to me when I was pregnant. All of a sudden, I started seeing babies everywhere. And before that, like, I never saw babies on the street. And I thought I'm living in a weird country that doesn't have, like, family values, you know what I mean? I will be talking about what I'm wearing in this video and for which occasion. Tonight, Joe and me are going for dinner. He's taking me out. And I don't know, I guess, I was watching this series which is called The House of David, originally inspired by Bible. I am truly intrigued about it. It's about the story where David defeats Goliath. And so I was really thinking, like, dinner? Okay, sure. Let's do Dune X House of David. Be that character, The brand of the dress is called Rotate, and I find they create interesting dresses overall. You can check how this looks like here. I mean, and other than that, you can follow me on my Instagram account and get more inspired. Jewelry, so cool. This is Cavalli and it's matching. The bag, you guys, wait, the bag. If this is not the most amazing bag, then I don't know. In case you're wondering, it's Bulgari. It's around 15 years old now, and I've just seen so many brands copying this exact bag. Like, there's a brand called Zorna, I believe, which is also sort of inspired through Schiaparelli's keyhole and overall the collaboration of Dali when it started back in the day with this surrealism kind of identity that Schiaparelli now is feeding off, so to say. But I find this bag to be such a beautiful classic. It's stunning, it's unbelievable, and what better, it's so trendy and on spot right now because all I've been seeing is boxed shapes. So that's that. And now the topic of today's video is gonna be architecture and fashion. through some sort of educational purposes, let's say it like that. And we're gonna be vintage luxury shopping, I guess. But before all of that, I'm gonna guide you through Vienna and through the first district and the Hofburg Palace. And seeing as now I've passed my exam, which is called Baugeschichte, and that is the history of art building, I thought I might as well tell you what you guys are looking around and why Vienna is built the way it is. But we would have to start from the very beginning. So welcome to a nerdy episode of Art and Architecture with MARIBUL. I hope you will enjoy it, and without further ado, let's dive straight in. So I'm not sure how many people that are watching this now have heard about Minoan civilization, but I'm sure you have heard about ancient Greece, right? And so this is like a culture that develops on the geopolitical position of today's Greece. And before Hellenism, there was Minoan and Mycenaean culture. So Mycenaean culture was also very famous because of the gold that people have found in the grave of Agamemnon. So we kind of know from the archaeological and architectural findings that this was a civilization that already had some access to stones, because before stones they used to build with wood. For example, Minoan civilization that would live on an island, as you can imagine, they couldn't really go around and build whatever they wanted to build. They had to build with the materials that were accessible to them, so to say. And this is also the first time in history that we know that joints start to be developed. And so in Minoan and in Mycenaean culture, we have in German it's called kritische Säule, and that's basically the Crete joint. And it was different from the joints you will see today in the Hofburg Palace. And why? Because these joints, they were inspired also by nature, because these two civilizations before Greeks came, they were influenced by what they saw around them logically, like we all are when we procreate. We cannot create without being influenced by what was already created. So I found that interesting because then, as I told you in the beginning of the video, I watched The House of David, right? And then I saw these vases in one scene, and I realized whoever did this show didn't think about this, because these kind of vases, they didn't exist at the time when House of David was recorded, right? So yeah, that was a little digression. And fast forward, we have Greek culture, where specific other sorts of joints get to be developed. Among them, there's Doric, Ionic, and Doric and Corinthisch, so Corinth joint. And Austria was influenced by all these different times of procreation. There was, let's say, there was sort of a renaissance as well in Vienna. And after I've prepped this exam, I found myself constantly looking around and trying to, connect the dots of the city I live in, and it made me really, really interested about all of this. Today we will walk in the very heart of Vienna, where the Volksgarten is positioned, or the National Garden. Here you can see the Hofburg Palace, a symbol of imperial grandeur. But long before its domes and lavish halls, there were only stone walls basically, and battlements. So a fortress that was built to guard the city, which belonged to medieval architecture. And in the 13th century, it was somewhat of a hub with market stalls, narrow streets, defensive walls protecting it from invaders, because this is the medieval times, right? And in medieval times, architecture turns more from aesthetics to really security and safety. Yet even before, centuries before Vienna rose, Another civilization shaped how great cities were built, and that is what I was talking about. It's ancient Greece. The Doric temples, like the Parthenon that you will see on the right side in the video, the precisely cut stone, column joints locked by weight alone, and metal clamps securing their mighty structures. What was basically the goal? To create temples that would last for ages, built on balance and unshakable design. Hofburg's architects, though separated by centuries, also sought performance and permanence. But the purpose was different. The Greeks built for the gods, while Habsburgs built for power. So this is a big differentiation, I would say, from when we look at architecture and what we can conclude. Specifically, neoclassicism as a movement was influenced a lot by Pan and Philhellenismus. Panhellenismus and Philhellenismus are two terms that my brain would now race to explain, but I know it in German, you know, it's always so funny when I need to translate and think. But let's say that Philhellenismus, it comes from Latin word of love. So it's like genuine appreciation of the Hellenism culture and Greeks. And then Panhellenismus would be somewhat of a legal theft of the inspiration and then building something that doesn't quite represent or stand for what it stood for back in the day. So I would characterize Panhellenismus at Theseus temple, also in Volksgarten, where the Hofburg Palace is. And this temple is a recreation of the Parthenon style, or the first peripteros, how it was called in Greece at that time, because of how joints are around surrounding the main hall. So that is one interesting thing I wanted to share here. Overall, back to the topic, as Vienna grew, so did Hofburg, right? So as it developed from a fortress city, it also developed into a hub of trade. And this is a public space where only nobility ruled, and it transition mirrors Vienna's own journey from a walled city of warriors to an open cultural capital of the Habsburg Empire. Unlike, obviously, the Greek city styles, which prized democracy and philosophy, Vienna was more of an imperial seat where emperors shaped Europe's destiny. Today, we step on layers of history, really.
Here a lot, so.
Yeah, well, that is why I always wanted to work, if I worked, to work in the first district, because like just walking through here gives me such good vibes.
Yeah. Oh, it's lovely. It's really, really nice.
It really is. Yeah.
I haven't been to a more beautiful looking city, I don't think also.
I think Vienna is very, very, very special when it comes to architecture.
Yeah, it's so top tier, isn't it? Yes. Like city-wise, not like living or whatever, just like how the city looks.
Well, also according to statistics, living as well.
I mean, I guess so. Yeah, if you're in the right, like, you know, groups and
circles, doing the right stuff. Yeah. So I wanted to show you guys a bit more. Now you're just seeing my hand in this shot, but I'll record now when we go to Lübeck, where we're going to go to the Kro, how that part of the city looks like.
We're foodies, so we know what we're talking about.
Exactly. And the right to craziest croissants that you guys have to try, I swear. These are our favorite ones and we enjoy going to this place every single time. Never make a reservation. There it is. We get lucky and we get the terrace to sit on it and to enjoy the croissants. So okay, here we have a flat croissant with stroll. strawberry. Then do you care?
This is peach. Peach and cream cheese. This is a lemon tart, of course.
Yes.
These are just 2 plain croissants. And then we have one sandwich of salmon, cream cheese, and one with prosciutto.
Like lacquered black, and then this almost cherry, washed over cherry wood, but somehow it looks like pop art, which is weird because it's almost orangey, but I love the dish.
Yeah, I love that desk. It's really cool.
The desk is super cool. Then you know, this is what I mean, like this already looks like it's not for everyone's geschmack.
I don't like that.
Yeah, or like the commode. So now guys, we're on the quest to find some vintage furniture shops because we want to make a mood board and like find inspirations for our new home. And we're just walking in the first district, hoping to find something that is really gonna like make it for us. This is filled with artists, and I guess we'll find exactly what we're searching for, you know. I'm a bit shocked how big it is, but also excited to see if I can find something. Okay, I truly hope that you enjoyed this. Let me know please in the comments below which part of the video was most interesting to you and why. What else would you like to hear? Is Maria being nerdy too much? Is it cool? Do you like it? In case you liked it, I do invite you to stay tuned for the part 2, because in the part 2 I just figured out today, and I was so happy, you guys. That's how happy I am. Joe and me are going to visit Venice in the time of Biennale. Yay! I've been waiting for this for so long. I cannot even explain you. I'm so excited for the outfits I'm gonna pick, for the photos I'm gonna make, for the things I'm gonna see. I'm so excited to see all of these buildings that I once was so stressed about having to draw. Well, guess now who's gonna be walking down to Venice and be like, yeah, I know that architect, I know that place. Yeah, that's gonna be me, and that's gonna be you, because I'm bringing you with me. And yeah, it's gonna be so cool. I cannot wait, truly. And the best part about it, we're bringing Leia with us, our little daughter. So exciting. Other than that, what else would I like to say to you? I'd like to say to you that if you're watching this, regardless if you're watching it for fashion or architecture or reflections, I appreciate you a lot. I think we have more in common than you might know. And this is overall what I'm realizing more and more as I progress with motherhood and parenthood. I realize that regardless of who our surroundings made us to be, that we're all human in the end. And you know, we all have bad days, good days, but the most important thing in greatness and how greatness is built is, I believe, with consistency and discipline and belief. And I would love to invite you to start practicing that in your everyday life. And empathy, you know, I think empathy is the most important part of every society. Something that throughout my studies in architecture I didn't really get to experience. It was really hard. It was almost non-human like, and bear in mind we're taught to create for humans. So if you feel lonely, don't be afraid or ashamed to say that. Go get that friend, call your mother, call your father, appreciate every single moment in time we have and fight for what you truly love and believe that belongs to you. Whether it's a career or a person or, you know, another goal you're setting up to conquer, because I promise in the end it's gonna make sense. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for commenting. Thank you so much for following along with the journey. It means so much to me, but thank you also for not clicking through and sticking, you know. The goal is to build an audience that has a long attention span and somebody that truly doesn't just scroll around but listens. And I've learned that listening is one of the most important things to learn to have a skill to. So I try to make it interesting so that while you listen you don't feel bored. Let me know if I succeeded in that. And I'll see you in my next one.